It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, folks, today we're going to jump on that gigantic, sharp, interactive board. We're going to go through Kyocera's first 9 months of their FY, which ends March of 2025. Kyocera, like all the actors in our industry, is going through some tough times. You know, over the last few years, I kept telling you all, you better quit chasing revenue at all costs. You better focus on profitability. It'll be those organizations that focus on profitability that will be able to navigate during turbulent times when you're subjected to things that are detrimental to profitability. Those are the times we're in right now. The organizations that sell print equipment are being pressured by innovation like never before. We're being disrupted like crazy. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of organizations that sell print equipment, OEMs, that are terrible financial stewards. In other words, they don't even care if they ever make any money. We see one that's just about ready to be liquidated as far as I'm concerned. We see another one that generates billions and billions of dollars worth of services revenue, but yet their profitability is below 1%, questioning the reality of that organization maintaining as a going concern. Kyocera has been disciplined. I mean, folks, you go back before COVID. Kyocera has been disciplined, and it's allowed them to navigate turbulent times that the industry has faced in the past and the really bad turbulence we're facing now. And they did have an impairment charge, and I'm going to discuss it. But I believe Kyocera is in a position to do something amazing. And I'm probably going to yell at them pretty damn loud. Because over the last, 4 years, I've been screaming, Kyocera, get your inkjet technology to disrupt the laser-based machines in businesses all over the world. Take that damn Task Alpha 15000C technology and move it downstream. And Kyocera, if you would do this, you would disrupt print like nobody's business. You would change the game in a way that a lot of folks hope it never changes. And you could profit off that change. And you could collect billions of dollars in revenue at a very high profit if you implement that change. And you would be so far ahead of the competition to try to catch up to you in that change, a change that I believe the marketplace is begging for, inkjet technology in businesses all over the world. Kyocera, your FY 2025 for you, which ends in March of 2025, is not going to be a pretty year. But it is going to be a year that I hope really shakes things up to a point where the leadership at Kyocera gets bolder than they've ever thought possible. So without any further ado, let's jump on the board. I want to share some thoughts with you. First thing we want to do is we want to discuss this impairment charge. After taxes, at the end of the day, it's a $284.1 million loss. Not a good picture. Not a good picture at all. But at the end of the day, we're going through some tough times. Wasn't it Canon? Our friends at Canon, a $1.1 billion impairment charge for the year they just ended. And Canon, disciplined company. Canon pays attention to the importance of profitability. And Canon will weather a $1.1 billion impairment charge. Kyocera is a great steward for profitability. They understand the importance of it. They'll weather a $284 million impairment charge. If you look at their top line revenue for the 9 months, it's $9.9 billion, operating profit of $81.3 million, 0.8%. It's above the line, but just barely, so I got to circle with that red pen because I really believe that's the lowest I've ever seen it. And I'm sure those folks over there at Kyocera say, oh, we can't let this happen. Kyocera announced a while back they were going to cut $1.3 billion in revenue because Kyocera is not going to chase revenue at all costs. And at the end of the day, I did an episode on that. I think this is a great thing to announce that you're going to cut $1.3 billion in revenue. That's a big, bold statement. But that tells me of a company that's not afraid to cut revenue because if the revenue is not profitable, why the hell do it? Congratulations, Kyocera. And I shared my thoughts on that. And folks, we all heard from the Kyocera leadership here in the U.S. anyway that print is not going to be cut. And I would agree with Kyocera not cutting print at this point because it's the most profitable business unit they have. By a long shot. So I'm thinking about Kyocera and I'm thinking about what they're projecting that they'll end up for FY 2025. For them ends in March of 2025. And they're going to say they want $3.2 billion in revenue. And I start thinking to myself, what's their greatest asset in the declining business printing? So think about businesses printing. Think about Kyocera. What's their greatest asset? Well, I'm going to tell you what it is. It's their A4 lineup. It's incredible. You know, when Lexmark's owner's 9-Star got banned over the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, it was Kyocera that really stepped in there and allowed dealers here in the United States and those dealers abroad that didn't want to do business with a Chinese Communist Party controlled company that was basically thrown out of the U.S. supply chain over forced slave labor. They had a place to go. They could go to Kyocera. Kyocera has an A4 lineup. And at the end of the day, we all know there's more A4s going into businesses than A3s. That's a great asset for Kyocera. What's Kyocera's greatest asset in production and industrial printing? Well, we all know that, right? It's their damn inkjet technology. It's the reason I'm so passionate about Kyocera taking that inkjet technology that they put in that 15,000C and moving that downstream. Because they're doing it now at the production level. When they came in with production print, they came in and they disrupted the market. They didn't come in with another laser machine. They didn't go to an OEM and say, hey, we want to rebrand your laser machine. They came into the market by developing an inkjet production machine that's changing the game. It's been successful. And now they're kicking off that Pro 55,000C. This is a great asset of Kyocera's. My last question, what's Kyocera's greatest disruptive growth potential? What's their greatest disruptive growth potential in print? Well, folks, this is inkjet technology. This isn't just some fantasy I'm coming up with. It's a reality. Our friends at Epson have tried to get into the business printing for way too long, and they're not successful, in my opinion. They have not disrupted the marketplace. And one of the benefits Kyocera has by coming in and doing this is they already have the myth. They already have the dealer relationships. They understand our space. I don't believe Epson understands our space. And Epson's been struggling at penetrating their inkjet technology in businesses. That's just a fact. And Kyocera could be that disruptive force. They have the technology. They have the wisdom when they came in with production with ink over laser. They have the wisdom and understanding they better have a really robust A4 lineup. And they had an A4 lineup way before their competitors. Everybody knows that Kyocera has a great A4 lineup, and they've had it for a long damn time. They didn't wait till the A4 revolution got won before they decided, oh, we better get into A4. They got into A4, and they were part of the fight to replace those oversold A3s. Let's look at the revenue in the Document Solutions unit. $2.3 billion for the first 9 months, representing 23.6% of their total revenue. That's a big piece of the Kyocera pie. Let's look at the profitability. $21.1 million, 9.1%. 26% of the total Kyocera operating profit. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, 9.1% is a good number in the print space. And Kyocera, Document Solutions business, where that print stuff lives, has been profitable. Quarter after quarter, year after year. They understand how to deliver print into the marketplace, even though the market's declining, and how to be profitable at it. And they're doing a good job. And they have an opportunity to really be a disruptor. I wanted to look at their asset to equity ratio, 73%, 27% of total assets are encumbered in some way. That's low, that's great. I wanted to look at their goodwill as a percentage of assets, 6%. Kyocera's goodwill as a percentage of their total assets is 6%. That's great. I keep telling y'all, right? Shouldn't be over 10. We see some major players where their goodwill is 20% of their total assets. Even with Canon's $1 billion impairment charge trying to align some assets with reality, they're still up there at what, 18, 17%? So congratulations on this, Kyocera. Kyocera's projection for the entire corporation for their FY 2025 is $13.2 billion in revenue. They want $138.7 million in operating profit, which would be 1.1%. So they get above 1%, and I'm guessing that's going to be the last time we see that. But again, because they're disciplined, because they pay attention to the importance of profitability, because they're not afraid to come and tell the world we're going to cut $1.3 billion worth of our revenue, they're going to do what they need to do. They're going to maintain their discipline. The only thing left for them to do is go out and raise some hell with disruption. Kyocera, Francis Bacon says, great boldness is seldom without some absurdity. I say, boldness is the ability to defeat complacency. Let's defeat complacency. Let's bring your inkjet technology to A4 MFPs. Let's replace overspec'd and oversold laser-based A3s that are in offices all over the world with inkjet technology. Let's continue to build upon the inkjet technology in your industrial print space and in your production print space. Let's change the game. Fight for a new relevance. Because everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck there, and I'll see you all tomorrow.